All right. So now for what might be the greatest tonal whiplash of review topics ever.
Yeah.
Daniel, you watched something on your own.
Yes, I did. Uh, I watched the Big City Greens movie, uh, Spacecation. I give it a watch after I got through the whole show. Um, so I will say, if you want to know what's going on in this movie, you kind of have to watch some of the show to understand it. Um,
Yes.
so
So is this like a cap off movie like they do sometimes, where it's like we're ending the show, time to do something big and exciting to end things, or
kind of, yeah. Because I will say the show kind of ended on a cliffhanger. Because they had a reoccurring villain that popped in every now and then, and he shows up to, he's like, oh, I'm about to enact my revenge, and then nothing happened. um but yeah, so they did this movie kind of like as a almost like a, yeah, like you said, kind of like a fun kind of adventure for I think it was probably more for the fans of the show than anything else. But yeah, so in this in the movie, the Greens are finally get to take a vacation, and the dad Bill, he says, "Oh well, we're gonna do the same vacation we did last year, which was this road trip to see all these landmarks." And the kids, Cricket and Tilly, and then Grandma are just like, "Oh, we're doing that again." Uh, and so they get kind of disappointed, and especially Cricket, by the way, is very disappointed because he wants to do something fun and exciting, because he's just full of energy, and probably slightly has, or actually no, he definitely has ADHD. um and so but before they go on their road trip, they have to stop off and make a delivery at Big Tech, which is this high tech company run by this very eccentric woman. I can't remember her name. Let me pull up the movie real quick. But I hate to say she's like a female Elon Musk, but she kind of is a female Elon Musk.
I guess
Um,
that makes sense because otherwise, how are you going to get them into space?
right? Yeah. Yeah, because she's talking about, she has like a colony on Mars and everything. Um, but and let me see, what was her name? Her name was Gwendolyn Zapp. Gwendolyn
Okay.
Zapp. Yeah, she's the one in the top left with the glasses, and she has a this like space station hotel, and it's, but of course it's where any, like, the super rich can stay there, go on the space station. It's basically like a cruise ship, but it's a space station.
Hmm.
um and of course, Cricket's friend Remy, who's like a mini Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He and his parents get to go up there, and the but the they get the food, or I can't remember if they get the food from this place, or but oh, there's an she also has an asteroid where she's got a farm in space, and but they're having trouble with the farm. So Gwendolyn Zapp offers to have since the Greens are farmers, they're like, oh well, I'll send you to the asteroid so you can farm all the crops that are on the asteroid.
Yeah, because that's an applicable environment instead of skills.
Yeah. Well, they even joke about that too, where I think she says, like, well, it's easier to train farmers to be astronauts than astronauts to be farmers.
Okay, that's for all the parents who watched Armageddon growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. um, and of course, Bill turns it down, and he's like, no, we've got this other trip we got planned out. We can't go into space. But Cricket's just like, what? I want to go into space. So then he tricks the family into, like, he goes to Gwendolyn and says, well, my dad's changed his mind. He wants to do it. He says, but we'll farm it, but we want to stay in the space station hotel. And she's like, oh, okay. And so he tricks the rest of the family into thinking, oh, well, we're going to do a simulator, and it's going to look like we're going into space. But no, they actually do go up into space. And much to Bill's chagrin, and the rest of the Tilly and Grandma are kind of get on board with it, but then bad stuff happens, and of course then there's all this family drama and everything. But it is it's basically it kind of falls into the same problem with that a lot of animated movies, or animated movies that are like continuations or based on animated series. Is you take like a concept for like one episode, and you try to stretch it out to an hour and a half. Yeah, and kind of like what, or you basically take like the premise or take like 3 episodes or 4 episodes or whatever, and that's basically what they get. So, by the way, this movie didn't come out in theaters. I think it just went straight to the Disney Channel.
That tracks, because I had never heard of this show until you brought it up for review a few weeks back.
Yeah, and I had never heard of it either until last January, when I was at Disney World. And so, but yeah, I mean, it's a like I said, this movie's definitely for the fans of the show, just to get to see them doing something really kooky and crazy. And what's kookier and crazier than having a family of farmers up in space?
Yeah. So I was going to ask, was there anything else in the series that was on this level of like high concept? Like, were they? I doubt they were regularly going to space, but did they have any sort of other like? And okay, so this is part of the show's weird visual language where characters just randomly have weird skin colors.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh, that purple lady up in the corner must be a space alien of some sort."
Yeah. Yeah, kind of, yeah. But usually, if something wacky like this happened with them, it's when they're around her. They're around Gwendolyn. Like there was one episode where they did like this whole virtual reality thing, and where she was basically like trying to create her own version of the Matrix.
Okay.
But yeah, most of the time it's usually like most of the hijinks they got into are like normal cartoon hijinks, and not too like kooky crazy. This is probably the kookiest, craziest thing that they've done.
Well, that sounds like it was a suitable send off for the series.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I would recommend it for people who, if you watch although people if they watch the show, they've probably already seen this movie by now. I mean, it came out.
Yeah.
When did this movie come out?
Last June, from the looks of it.
Yeah, last year. Yeah. So, yeah, they probably have already seen it by now. But yeah, I mean, it's good enough. Yeah.